Ones I Condemn!
Hey, this is Hellbound Radio. We're here with Sacrifice. We just heard a couple of more tracks. We heard The Entity, and then we heard Pawn of Prophecy. So we moved from Forward Determination into the third record, Soldiers of Misfortune. Now, did it come out in 90 or 91? Do you guys remember?
Isn't it both?
I don't know. I can't remember.
And we
could have been both.
We were talking off the air, and this record didn't come out on vinyl.
No.
It came out on CD and cassette.
Yes.
And it's been brought up to me before. People thought that no Sacrifice records came out on Diabolic Force on CD, but all three of them did come out on CD.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, Phase One Studios in Toronto. Scott had mentioned that this was recorded the same place that Battlescar was recorded by Rush and Max Webster.
Yeah.
And I guess that's another step up studio-wise for you guys.
The thing for me in that studio is when you walk in, there's gold records and stuff on the wall. The theme from SWAT. Gold record for the theme from SWAT. It's like, wow, they did this here?
Oh, yeah? For any listeners that aren't as old as all of us,
yeah,
that was a pretty major TV show in the 70s, and I think it might have went into the early 80s, but
I think it did, yeah.
But yeah, that's a show that they still could be shown on TV. That was a good show.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, the engineer that recorded Soldiers for us, he was there at the recording when they did Battlescar with Max Webster and Rush. He did that studio we're in. He showed us everywhere where they're all set up. Everyone was set up. The two drummers, keyboarders, Getty, Alex, Kim, everyone. He said they did I think about 12 or 13 takes on the same song, and then they just picked the best one.
Oh, really?
Something like that, yeah.
I wonder if they would have recorded. They probably wouldn't record the vocals live. Probably just the instrumentation, and then did the vocals.
Yeah, probably.
So.
Yeah.
That's probably the way.
How would you guys basically record your records live, like instrument wise?
Well, not this time, but usually.
Yeah, I would never do vocals.
No.
Oh, no.
But our beds were always done with all of us in the room. Yeah, except for the new one.
And this record, a lot of the equipment that was in Phase One Studios at the time you mentioned is in the studio where you did the new record.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of that equipment moved from Phase One and went over to the Rouge Valley studio.
Now, was it with Forward Determination or was it with Soldiers that you started licensing records outside of Canada to Metal Blade?
It was right from the beginning, actually.
Oh, it was right from the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you went and did more touring in the U.S. by this time, right? You've gone down and I think you had played with Believer and I'm probably saying all
and
this
Bolt
wrong.
Thrower.
Yeah.
We did a full American tour with them. We did mini tours with COC, DRI. Even did 2 shows with Motorhead in Rochester and Buffalo.
Oh, yeah?
That was amazing. And the Goo Goo Dolls.
Opened for us.
Yeah, and the Goo Goo Dolls too.
first.
Yeah, that's when they were more punk.
So that would have been like 88, 89 kind of thing?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So that would have been sort of the 4-piece Motorhead lineup with Wurzel and...
No,
Yeah.
Filthy Phil was... Yeah,
Filthy,
Yeah,
Phil
Filthy was
played
there, but it
drums.
was
Yeah.
Wurzel and Phil Campbell.
Yeah,
on
I
guitar.
can tell you. They were
Yeah.
cool guys.
Actually,
Oh, yeah?
Super cool guys. Oh, yeah.
Wow. How, I don't know, you guys haven't done this recently, but how easy was it to cross the border in those days as a band? Was it any easier? Did you still have to have all the visa work and all that in place to
If we
go
didn't
and-
get hassled, if we had the paperwork, then there'd be no hassles at all. We'd just go in, show it, and they let us go right through.
Hey, I get hassled way more. I'm a responsible husband, father. I get hassled way more now than we ever did in Sacrifice.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, way more.
Just crossing to go cross-border shopping in Buffalo for the day or something?
Yeah, it's crazy. They'll pull us in for half an hour and, look through the car and all that stuff. We used to pull a trailer full of equipment and they would never even open. Sometimes they'd just open the back and go, okay, see you guys later.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we go there, one other thing, we had a caller that called in that wanted to ask, what is the stance, what is Sacrifice's stance on bootlegs? Have you guys ever had, do you know of any legit CD, or not legit, but any pressed CD or vinyl bootlegs that have come out of your records, and what's your feeling about that?
Well, it sucks. No, there's been a lot of stuff bootlegged, but that was one thing with our reissues are so good that it's pretty much got them off the market. Nobody wants to buy a bootleg anymore when they can get. If someone wants to buy a bootleg of Torment and Fire, or they can get the marquee version with 2 CDs and a big, huge book and all that, they're gone now.
What about, I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but for most bands that had records in the 80s, and most metal bands in general, after the record comes out, the BitTorrents are up like a month later, people downloading the record.
Yeah, it's funny, back in our day, the record company used to rip you off, but now it's it's your fans.
Well, hopefully people are still out buying the records. I know that you can definitely get the 3 reissues on Marquee. They're available through a number of mail order places in the U.S. and hopefully by early next year something will be worked out where they'll be more available in Canada. And the new record seems to be available in a lot of places. And some U.S. mail orders just started carrying it last week, like The End and Relapse and Century Media. So hopefully people are going to go out and support the record. And the other question that I keep getting asked by people is, there's apparently a DVD recorded of your Toronto 2006 performance. Do you have any idea what the status is on that?
Almost finished. Just basically artwork for the... Actually, Armando's got some great ideas of the packaging for this thing. I don't want to say anything yet, but it's going to be really, really cool. And it's done basically just the covers being touched up. Actually, he's probably listening right now and going, "Yeah, it's Lazy Rob waiting for some stuff from him," which he is. But shut up, you guys.
I mean, that's one thing that people have to understand is you guys were a band full-time until 1993.
Yeah.
And then there was one more record that was recorded not with the original lineup that you guys did, Apocalypse Inside. And then what happened, what made you guys decide that it was no longer time to do Sacrifice, to get I guess to go further with your lives, to see what else was out there and what was going to happen. What was the impetus behind that?
Well, thrash was dead pretty much. There's us and Forbidden left pretty much, aside from the bigger acts. And well, we lost our deal with Metal Blade, and there was no going forward. Like there's nothing on the horizon where you could go, I want to go there. We just said, that's it. And I mean, it was depressing as hell too. It was, we'd been doing it for I don't know how many years since we were kids. But I mean, we let it go, and didn't think that this would happen now.
Yeah, definitely.